Human story, isn't it, that perhaps their relationship broke down, and it's very heartening that they'll be able to build a relationship again and be able to go into business together. It's quite amazing.
But there's no time for celebration. They've only a few days to get the pub ready for one of the biggest island wedding receptions in years. And for Heike, the new island vet, these are worrying times. Having moved over lock, stock and barrel from Germany with her young son Sammy, she's struggling to make ends meet.
I need more sick animals.
Will you be able to manage, though, if you've got such little work financially?
Well, if it's as little as it is like the last few days, no.
St Martin's is the most northerly and some say the most beautiful of the 5 inhabited Isles of Scilly. It has just one small pub, the Seven Stones. And today Liz has arrived from the mainland to help run the business with her ex-husband Toby and their daughter Darcy.
It looks so beautiful. It's like a fairy tale.
She'll be starting her new life living in the little cottage, which goes with the pub.
Whoa! Oh, this is a fantastic room, isn't it?
And she's brought along Darcy's half-brother Connor, who'll be staying for a week or 2.
Oh, look, there's a bed up here, Connor.
This is your bedroom, this?
No, this is going to be Connor's, I think.
Connor's room, wow.
Yeah.
Although Liz has made visits to St Martin's, this is the first time the family have been reunited since the couple divorced 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
What do you think, Liz?
Oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's just a fantastic time of year to arrive as well, isn't it? Because it's like all hopeful and spring-like and all erupting. And look at that view, isn't that amazing?
Because of lengthy delays in buying the pub, they're taking it over less than a week before the wedding. Since everyone on St Martin's is invited to the reception at the Seven Stones, it's vital they get every last detail absolutely right. As his days start to get busier, the new chaplain to the Isles, Father Guy Scott, is gradually getting used to island ways. He likes to greet newcomers to Scilly, so this morning he's on his way up to the Seven Stones to give a welcome to the newest arrival on the islands.
Hi, all right?
Yes, thank you.
How are you doing?
All right, yes. It would have been a bit of a whirlwind, but we're here now, yeah.
When did you arrive?
Yesterday.
So you've never done this before?
No.
Gosh.
Getting around his parish is time-consuming, so Father Guy's always on the move. Next, he's back on St Mary's to put in an appearance at the Spring Flower Festival.
So where's home on the mainland?
Rickmansworth.
Oh, right, Hertfordshire.
Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And later he calls in to check on the progress of some new stained glass windows being made by local specialist Oriel Hicks for the little church over on Briar.
You've got the agapanthus up here,
Yeah.
and the daffodils in the fields here. Poppies. It's all handmade glass too. It's not machine made.
Fantastic.
One of his duties as chaplain is officially opening the spring session of the Council of the Isles of Scilly, which sits in the old Wesleyan chapel in the capital, Hewtown. This is something Father Guy hasn't done before, so he's being shown the ropes by the chief executive, Philip Highgate.
Yes?
This was actually a royal throne, used by Charles II.
This is the famous chair the heir to the throne used when he came to Scilly on the run from Cromwell in 1646.
Grant that true faith, honest dealing, give your
Because of the
grace to
remoteness of the
those
Isles, the council here controls virtually every aspect of community life,
they may fulfill
including the
their
controversial and often highly charged issue of planning consent.
and make us strong to meet every challenge which the coming days may bring. Amen.
And it's planning consent which is of particular interest right now to trawlerman Martin Bond. When he's not on the boat, he's busy in a barn in the middle of the island working on his latest project, a mobile fish shop. There's no fishmongers on Scilly, so this is Martin's answer to the growing demand for his fish.
There she is. Like a glove on a chicken's lip.
A young islander with a flair for design called Imogen has offered to help him out.
Martin wanted the marauder in, so this is going to be in red and maybe 2 tones of red, so it shows a bit of shading. Is there anything else you're wanting written on the van?
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish? We can do fresh fish?
We can do fresh fish, can we?
Yeah.
But even though it's a mobile van, Martin still needs planning permission from the council to open up for business. A decision's due to be made shortly. And if it goes against him, Martin won't be a happy man. Over at the Seven Stones, there's still plenty to be done before the imminent wedding. A team of local volunteers is helping put up the marquee. And inside Liz is on a very steep learning curve. She used to be a social worker and has never worked behind a bar before.
I'll stop.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, gently.
Gently.
How are you getting on with this?
Okay, I think.
Have you literally never pulled a pipe?
Never. Well, no, never.
This is the first one. Wow. How's she getting on, girls?
Very well. She's a natural, even though she looks a bit panicked.
On his way over to the pub is someone who'll be critical to the success of the new venture. This is their new chef, Paul Websdale from Hull, and he's also going to be living at the pub. He knows it's a great opportunity. At the age of just 22, this is the first time Paulie will be in charge of his own kitchen.
So it's quite a big day for you, isn't it?
It is my first kitchen, and I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. I've been waiting for a month to get in the kitchen now, so ready to go for it this weekend. I want to move the kitchen around a bit. I've got a paper plan of what the kitchen's like, so I've seen it in my head where I want to move everything, and I think we'll probably have to do it one night this week before the weekend to get it done.
Now, you've got this huge wedding party coming up.
Yep. I'm obviously out to impress, you know, the island's going to be there.
It's going to be a huge event.
It's going to be, yeah.
It's going to be your debut.
Yeah, you reminded me.
At the bakery, Toby's already preparing food for the wedding reception at the pub. Toby lives in a cottage across the green from the bakery and knows this is crunch time for the Seven Stones. He's relying on his ex-wife with a brand new chef in charge of all the food.
Now, in just over 48 hours, you've got this huge wedding to do here, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you feeling about that?
Petrified would be one word for it. It's going to be sort of a real throw yourself in the deep end. We've all got to learn how to do a mad, busy night that goes on till 1 in the morning.
Because virtually everybody on the island's going to be here, aren't they?
Yeah, I think almost everyone on the island's been invited, and also there's quite a lot of their friends and family from the mainland who are turning up. So
you can't afford to get this wrong.
No, we have to get this right first time.
It's 6 a.m. on an April morning on the main island of St Mary's. And on one of the highest points on the island, the Buzzer Tower, once a windmill, dozens of people are gathering in a long-held tradition to witness the rising of the sun.
Good morning, David. Happy Easter.
This is Father Guy's first Easter Sunday on Scilly, and the cloudless dawn bodes well for a brilliant day ahead. Easter is the most significant moment in the Christian calendar, and Father Guy's got many services to get through. After the Buzzer Tower, next stop is early morning communion at the main church at St Mary's.
Sir, if you have carried him away, Tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away.
Then it's off down to the quay for a trip to the next service on the smallest off-island, St Agnes. Ominously, the fast launch he, Kate and their girls Alice and Clary use is having a spot of engine trouble. But they set off on schedule. They may not have been on Scilly for long, but Father Guy and the family have got used to jumping in and out of boats all day. For the girls, it's already become second nature. Thanks to the lovely weather, the holiday season here has got off to an unusually busy start. Every day, hundreds of visitors have been arriving from the mainland. And the island's tourist office is counting on the help of a rather unexpected new recruit. Heike, the new vet, has been having a very quiet time of it since she arrived here a few months ago. So she's decided to supplement her income with a little moonlighting. She's volunteered to be the guide for a coachload of German tourists.
The normal translator doesn't have any time today,
So
I have
stepping in.
Yeah, I have to go.
Notice.
Yes, on very short notice. So I don't know what I have to tell them, and I don't know much about the island. But they have a written script, and and here you see Scilly, you know, and here you see Scilly.
You've never done this before?
No, never.
I wonder if they ask you questions.
Well, we can ask them.
You've only been here a short time. You
Yeah.
don't know much about the islands.
Yeah, no. I will tell them, you know. Well, if I know the answers, fine. If I don't know, bad luck.
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad.
I'm Glenn.
Glenn. Okay.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
There's a script there for you. It's not a script as such, it's just pointing out a few things.
Okay, because I don't know awful
That's
lot
right.
about
So
Scilly.
basically you've just got to read it from there. But if you want to ask anything,
Yeah.
then I'll answer any questions.
Okay.
All right?
I will. When are they arriving?
Well, they should be here any minute.
Okay.
Don't be nervous. You're looking nervous. Just speak a minute now.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello! Do this?
No, there's no need to do that.
Okay.
It's 10 a.m. on Easter Sunday, and Father Guy's already on his third service of the day. With the churches much fuller than he'd expected, he's starting to run behind time. He's not only late back on the quay at St Agnes, but after its earlier engine trouble, the fast launch they're relying on, the Wizard, to take them back for the 11 o'clock on St Mary's, has broken down. Just a few weeks ago, the new chaplain would have been mortified at being late for a service. But it seems he's getting used to life being determined by the tides, weather, and the reliability of the boats.
It was busy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Because you were much later than I think they were expecting down here.
Yes, more than I was expecting. But that's Easter. It's good.
Do you think you'll make it in time for 11 o'clock?
Well, they'll have to wait for me.
That's the way it is, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Even so, the fact that Father Guy's so late for the biggest Easter service of them all is slightly embarrassing.
Can I welcome you all on this Easter day? It's very good to see you all, particularly those of you who are visiting these islands. Welcome. I apologise for being late. The Wizard is down again. Locals will understand.
Hello there.
Heike's German tourists have travelled hundreds of miles and spent a lot of money to come and sample the delights of the Isles of Scilly. But their new and inexperienced guide is struggling.
Das ist Portslö. Da werden sehr viele von den Booten hier benutzt werden und den kleinen Yachten und so überwintern alle hier im Trockenen. What else could I say about Portslö?
Well, this is where the boats will come up in the winter time, in the
told them.
summertime. Oh, right, okay.
Back in town, Heike decides to come clean.
Also ich mache das heute zum ersten Mal. Ich bin nämlich der Tierarzt hier. Ich habe überhaupt keine... Der Duckpond, der Ententeich.
It's the end of the day, and still no rest for Father Guy. Now the holiday season is underway, each Sunday on St Mary's ends with a late evening service in the tiny 12th century church at Old Town.
Good evening and welcome to this first epilogue of the season.
There's no electricity here, so everything's done by candlelight.
I will begin this time of worship with the collect for Easter Day.
It's been an extraordinarily long day for Father Guy, but he knows he must be up again at the crack of dawn for another key moment in the island year. It's Easter Monday, and whilst many people are having the bank holiday off, Father Guy and the family are meeting up with the island's wedding photographer for the trip to St Martin's and a social event which will involve everyone on his most northerly island. It's also the public debut of the Seven Stones, where they've been up early too, making last-minute preparations for tonight's reception. The fish has come, of course, courtesy of Martin Bond.
This is one of Martin's John Doras.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're so fresh, and to get them whole as well, it's almost a rarity.
Just up the road, dozens of wedding guests are arriving at the little church. There's only one track leading across the island, and soon it's blocked with people. Rather unfortunately, this is the moment when a container filled with Liz's entire worldly possessions from her house in Brighton arrive on the quay just the other side of the church. The pub van's been dispatched to pick up Liz's stuff, but can't get through. Back at the pub, a nervous Paul is finalising tonight's menu.
What is this?
This is just a loin of pork which I've boned and I've rolled with, and I've stuffed it with sage, apple and walnut. And then yesterday I made the mini pasties.
How many?
136, but I had one for my breakfast, so it's 135.
This is it then, tonight?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of islands here, and
If you get it wrong?
if I get it wrong, there'll be I'm not going to get it wrong.
Lois Madeline Briard, will you take Ryan Thomas also?
At the little church, the wedding ceremony is underway. So the pub van bearing the first load of Liz's belongings is just able to get through and makes it back to the pub. At the church, the short ceremony is over and the guests spill back out onto the track. Then, led by the bride and groom, the entire wedding party begin to walk across the island. Meanwhile, freshly picked flowers are arriving up at the pub. When, eventually, they get to the pub, the bride, Lois the schoolteacher, and her groom, Ryan Alsop, who runs the boatyard, kick off the reception. Things behind the scenes are looking good. Toby's hoping that the only pub on the island, now newly renovated, will once again become the social hub of the community. So it's vital the guests take to it and its new staff. Back Like on St Mary's, the pubs, which are quiet during the winter months, are now starting to get busy for the first time in the year. Part of the job of chaplain to the Isles is to make contact with the holidaymakers as well as the islanders. So now Father Guy pops into the Atlantic for a quick beer with the visitors.
I was a curate of Abington in Northampton.
Oh, Northampton? Yeah. Yes, we lived in Abington Avenue in 1940.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, that would have been in the parish I was a curate.
In 1940?
No.
Father Guy's beginning to realise how vital pubs are to the island way of life, particularly the remoter ones like Toby and Liz's.
On St Martin's, it is a small island with a small population. No, it's vitally important that they have somewhere to gather and meet and where they can discuss all sorts of things in life over a drink. Particularly on the off-islands, of course, because they've only got one pub. It's a vital focal point, because where else would people meet in that relaxed atmosphere?
In fact, at the Seven Stones wedding reception, things are going from strength to strength.
Paulie and Chris and Lydia have done an amazing job. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is going to be the biggest night that St Martin's and the Seven Stones has seen, I think, really, in the history of the pub.
And after all the stress and the hassle and the worries,
yeah,
here you are.
Here we are, yeah, and we'll have a great night, and the sun will come up on tomorrow, and we'll all look very grey and very grim, but we'll have a great time.
People are loving the food.
Yeah, everybody's happy. Everybody's been looking at it coming out.
Have you spoken to the bride?
I've spoken to the bride.
She's pleased with what you've done?
She's pleased. She's happy with me. She looks very happy herself. She's full of colour.
But this was the big day, though, wasn't it?
This was the big day. I wanted this had to go right, so met this right and then struggle through tomorrow.
So the big debut of the Seven Stones, under new ownership for just 1 week, seems to have gone better than anyone had imagined. The question now is, can Toby, Liz and Paulie maintain the momentum and make a real long-term go of it? Back at his barn on St Mary's, Martin's almost finished the bulk of the work on his new mobile fish van.
You've done a fair bit of work on the trailer then, Martin.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of a few hours gone in there, really.
You've got all the plumbing in?
Plumbing's in, yeah. That's a major job, really.
Then it's down to Hughtown and the meeting of the councillors on the planning committee, who must now decide on the van's future. Many locals dislike any suggestion of change, and most new planning applications are opposed.
Right, I'll now move on to planning applications. Item number 1, P07/044.
This proposal is for the stationing of a mobile van for the sale of fish. Since writing my report, members will be aware that we have received an objection to this application, and the concerns are primarily on the grounds that it would create potential smells, would create debris, and also increase traffic within the area.
The cash-strapped island vet, Dr. Heike Dawn, is travelling on one of the off-island tripper boats at the start of a new initiative to drum up business. Being a tourist guide was fun, but she urgently needs to earn more money. So Heike is en route to the first of a number of temporary surgeries she's arranged on each of the smaller off-islands for local animals which may need treatment. There are virtually no cars on these smaller islands, so Heike hitches a lift up from the quay with a local farmer. Heike has booked the local community centre for an hour and a half, and already there's a patient waiting for her in need of a vital inoculation.
So do you think you are the only one?
I don't know. I've been here since 11, so I might well be.
Okay.
Right.
Hold her. That's it. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Then she waits for the other patients to turn up. Much hangs on these experimental surgeries. If they work, it could really boost her income. Back at the planning committee, councillors are preparing to vote on Martin Bond's mobile fish shop.
And this will be an added bonus to people from the off-islands as well as the people who live in some areas. There has been a lack in the past of obtaining fresh fish in the islands.
After much debate, it's time to put it to the vote.
Okay, any further questions? I'll take the vote. Those in favour of it being granted, please show. Anybody against? That is unanimous. Permission is granted. Right, we'll move on to item...
Thank you very much. It's good when there's a majority of the committee are fish eaters. It's definitely an advantage.
So your first ever council planning meeting got without a hitch?
Yeah, might do another one.
So you're going to go and celebrate now?
Small one might be appropriate.
The decision could have far-reaching effects. By at a stroke dramatically increasing the outlet for their fish to islanders and self-catering visitors, it could go a long way towards securing the future of the family business. Back in the community hall on St Martin's, things are not going well for Heike and the first of her experimental surgeries. She knew work in such a small place would come in fits and starts, but now, after an hour, Heike is preparing to admit defeat.
How many patients have you had today?
2.
That's not very many, is it?
No.
Well, is that because they don't know you're here?
No, I'm sure they know, everybody knows I'm here. I should have 1 patient per quarter of an hour. So I should have at least 4, if not 6.
To make it worthwhile?
To make it really worthwhile. And once a month, so it's a bit of a problem, you know. I would absolutely be desperate if I would have to leave the island because I'm not making enough money. That would be such a personal defeat for me, I couldn't really live with it.
Is that a possibility, do you think?
Probably.
Heike has given up everything and travelled right across Europe with her son Sammy to begin a new life on Scilly. For it all to go wrong, having got this far, would be a personal disaster. In the next programme, as Scilly prepares to welcome thousands of gig rowers and their supporters from all over the West Country for the busiest weekend of the year, Father Guy reveals he's finding it harder than he thought to settle into island life.
It's been a more difficult start than I imagined. There is a Scillonian way of doing things.
And a familiar face returns to help out the island's tiny police force for the summer season. And this time, romance may really be just around the corner.
I did meet someone nice, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And who's that?
That's Andrew. He's up there.
On the Isles of Scilly, the new chaplain, Father Guy Scott, is having to learn fast about island ways. A boat breaks down and his entire day's disrupted.
I apologise for being late. The wizard is down again. Locals will understand.
But getting used to the ways of his new parish is proving much more difficult than Father Guy had imagined.
It's been harder than I thought. Much harder than I thought, to be honest.
And Toby and his ex-wife Liz have got off to a flying start at the opening of their new pub.
This is going to be the biggest night that St Martin's and Seven Stones has seen, I think, really, in the history of the pub.
But can